Okay, so let's go to our swing coins in alphabetical order, starting with APT. So by the way, we got new entry XRP. It's not last, it's because it starts with X. Okay, it's alphabetical. Otherwise, someone who's new might think, oh, it's in the end. No, it's alphabetical order. Why? Because sometimes if the video is long, if you're interested in XRP, you can fast forward, let's say, to the end, and you can skip all those coins and just look at XRP. So that's why I go by alphabetical order. So you can always skip if you want to skip. Because it's not that APT is my preferred, just a clarification. So APT, you can see that very positive. It has energy, and if it is sticking to this resistance, this earlier support is resistance. Remember, when the price is below the support becomes resistance. I'm not changing the name, but all these supports are now resistance, basically. Right. So this is a resistance, and it is trying really hard. Look at that, right? For 5 weeks, and because it is not giving up, we can say this is the direction. So there is no need to change this particular projection. We need to change only if it breaks below 6.5, let's say. Then we can say, okay, it tried but it failed. Until it breaks below 36.5, this is the projection. Remember, the angle could be different. See, angle could be different. Angle is not important. This particular projection is about the direction. It's not about the timeline. It's never about timeline, roughly speaking. Yeah, I should extend up to this because this is the decisive level. So this bounce, and this is where we can say the green one. Somebody who is newly joined asked many questions, and sometimes I realize that people don't ask enough questions. They are new. If they understood them well, but it's always good to ask if there's doubt. So he asked so many questions. Nobody asked me this many questions in last 2 years or 3 years, I would say. Yeah, 2 years. Nobody asked me. He asked me. So it's nothing wrong about it. But I realized that sometimes people don't ask questions and assume things. So he's the person who asked so many questions, which is good. So he asked me about what is this green level. I said, this green level has to be broken above, not close. If the price closes above this, then we talk about the next resistance. Otherwise, I assume that it's more like a dead cat bounce. Right? So it's bounce which is not good enough. So that's why my arrow should stop here, because this is the decisive one. If it is able to close above this, then we can say it would go for R1 and probably more, right, in that case. But if not, then all these interim ones are stepping stones, which will tell that, okay, now there's progress, breaking up, closing above is progress, closing above is continuation of the progress, right? And so on. And this is where, so the green one, so I have added green level in each and every coin now. There were a few missing. I added, so you will see that. Critical level, he also asked what is critical level. So I also added critical level. Some of the coins were having, some were not having, so I added for all of them. Basically critical level below which if it breaks, then we can say that the the trend, if this is counter trend which is on the downside, then we can say it will likely to go down further. So that's what I mean. Also, I pasted the table, which is like, so you, if you don't want to go through the video, then the table will have, the table has, if I don't have required level, that means it is near break-even point. In case of BTC and Ethereum, I have it, we'll see. So a couple of coins where there is no breakout level, it means that the immediate resistance that you see is the one that is to be broken about. And we'll talk about that when it comes. So wherever breakout green level is required level is applicable, I added. Okay, and critical support is also added. So you get a range. But if you still have question, ask me. Um, See this candle, this kind of price action means nothing. So I have nothing to add because price has not done nothing. So there's nothing to add. It's flat. AVAX is in between. You see, it's a zone. It's trying to break above, but this recovery attempt is still valid. It's in this range. So this particular arrow is still valid, where the next one is this. So if it's able to break above, the next one is this, as I mentioned last time. Nothing else to be added. I can add only if the pattern is changing. If the pattern is not changing, what should I? There's nothing to add, right? So if you look at this one, there's no price action. What would I say? I would say same as last week, correct? Same as last week. You see the progress. So last week I mentioned that the Doge has some kind of momentum, and we see that there's. I'm not saying there's a huge problem. It's comparatively speaking that I see momentum means it was stuck for last 4 or 5 weeks. Now we can clearly see it's going to close above. And here you see attempts, but not really closing above. Here you clearly see that tomorrow is Sunday. It's probability wise, I mean, it's likely to break above. I mean, close above. Unless something major happens with BTC where it goes down. But looking at this stage, you can say now it's above. So likely to close above in next 24 hours or so. Likewise. So definitely Doge is being bought, and we can clearly see it's getting momentum. So the direction we have set makes sense, and you have this required level, which I added. Note it. I don't have to explain again. The definition of required level is common. Yeah. This is a lot, but not point of concern as long as S1 is intact. So if it remains above S1, not a problem. Yes, disappointing because this gain is lost, EGLV. So disappointing, but not that concerning. Disappointing, but not concerning because S1 is not broken. Ethereum, kind of flat, right? It's still within this shadow of the prior week's candle. This is a range, like this is within the range of last. So we can say it hasn't decided anything. So simply moving sideways. So here there is no required level. It means assume that it has to close above. That's good enough for it to continue on the upside, right? That's why this is FET. Nothing to say, nothing more. It's still sticking to A. So he said, so basically for him, I had to add these labels because I had support, but there was no label. So this was S1, and I would give higher number to the higher, because if price goes up, the support will be on the higher side. So this is S1, so I'll give some S2 somewhere. So my number will go up. But now if we have to add more support on the downside, then I add an A. So his question was, what is the difference between 1 and A or something like that? It's just a label. It's just unique identifier. Simple. There's no difference. So the explanation is this number, I don't want to say 0 and -1. Simple. That's why. Because that's why I said A and B. Okay. Yeah, somebody really asked me after a couple of years. Interesting. A lot of questions. But yeah. You have to notice this green level, red level supports, or in this one, I don't have red level, but this is a red level. Should change it. Of course. Yeah, so 5 point is looking good this week. Positive, you see. So And the Filecoin is getting momentum, as I mentioned. For Doge last week, I would say Filecoin for this week, I see momentum, means positive energy, and I think this projection looks good. And there's beautiful double bottom, and there's beautiful symmetry. But it has to close about them. Then this symmetry will realize into something good, something cool. Something cool will happen if it closes about this. So this is critical level support, required level. This the pattern is in. The pattern is broad and bit. I see that, but nothing fundamentally changed. No fundamental change. That's it. Maybe this would shift, delayed. Nothing else. There's no change. There's just shifting. You see, this is alignment. This is what I was talking about, tuning, refining. Okay. Okay. So this is so it came down, but supported by A. Yeah, which is positive. It hasn't broken. So no price action. Doji candle we call. Doji means no body, almost no body. Doji candle. Right? Doji candle means I don't know anything. That kind of gesture. So, but the pattern is same. The trajectory is same. Render was a star, still a star, but little upset. So it's delaying. It's delaying. And delaying. It's delaying by doing nothing. Fine. We have to accept it. But is it at a level where it is a point of concern? No. No. It's doing nothing for last 5 weeks. So what, you cannot say anything because even the pattern hasn't been changed. It's going to consolidation. I don't see any change in structure. Yeah, if it breaks below, close below this 1.68, 1.67, maybe I can add one more support level, support 2, somewhere here. Yeah. One more at 1.6. Oops. Oh, we'll just add one more because there's a lot of gap. So 1.6 can be tracked, I would say. But yeah, so as long as it's above S2, this is not a concern at all. Sandcoin is very similar to, I think, Filecoin in terms of structure. Very similar. Very similar. You can figure it out. Very similar. So it's sticking to the resistance, which is positive. It's not somewhere here, which is like defeated, kind of a rejected. No, it's sticking, which is good. So it's positive. SOL has touched, so it's still around required level. If you go by dollar, exact dollar, so it has come down a bit, but not that deep enough, right? So that's not a point of concern at all. It has broken above the orange, and it is still around green level, which is positive. So SOL actually is a move, we can say. This last week candle was awesome. Awesome. So you're noticing adjectives and all that, right? So that's how I talk about things. Okay. So you have to figure it out. XRP is amazing. Very strong. Very strong. Don't doubt it. And because it pumped a lot, do you think it will create another pump like this every day? No, right? No, it doesn't work like that. There's some resting time. And also, you know that BTC is going through um, wait and watch game phase. So naturally, so this enthusiasm is because of the verdict. And now it is back to this, I would say it's it's not going to diverge and do something unlikely unless we see it. This move is not divergence. Okay, so that's it. So amazing looking. So this looks good. So nothing more to add. R2 is given, S1 is given, critical level is given. So XRP is looking really strong. And with this note, I'll end this. This is 2 hours now. I am really done. I have covered everything that I wanted. Feel free to ask me if there's more question. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Ram.